Before I start the video, I think it's important to talk about how much the show means to me. I know I usually focus on Nintendo games on my channel, so this is definitely something new. But hey, I've always wanted to make videos that I wanted to make, even if not everyone will love it. Still though, I hope you enjoy this review of the Bob's Burgers movie. And of course, there are going to be spoilers, but I'll tell you when. I've been watching Bob's Burgers for almost 2 years. The show recently just wrapped up its season 12 finale. Over the 11 plus years it's been on air, the show hasn't had any drop in quality like other shows have after been going on for a dozen or more seasons. This can be credited to a few things. Firstly, the characters. Bob's Burgers always stood out from other shows by having such random, bizarre, yet down-to-earth characters. The Belchers do feel like a real family with genuine interactions and love for each other. This is exceedingly true in the movie, but I'll get into that later. Another thing is the jokes. The show always had dialogue and character-written jokes. It works for the show's benefit, because whenever a character says or does something that makes you laugh, you aren't just laughing at the joke. You're laughing because it's totally how that certain character would laugh. It would make the humor more impactful and meaningful. Both of these things have kept the show a medium-rare gem for over a decade. They certainly kept me watching it. So this pretty much sums up what the show's about, but how does the movie bring the Belchers onto the big screen? Well, in case you're unfamiliar, here's the main synopsis. The Belchers are getting ready for the summer, but they really need a loan extension from the bank. But when a huge sinkhole opens up in front of the restaurant, it's very bad for business, and Bob tries to get Mr. Fishoda's help. But when a body's found in a sinkhole, Mr. Fishoda gets framed, and the Belcher kids try to solve the mystery to save the restaurant. Got it? Now let's start reviewing. The animation. The animation has never been a selling point of the show. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not exactly why Bob's Burgers has gone on for over 200 episodes. But the movie's bigger budget has definitely helped in giving it more shadows, very subtle 3D at times, and dynamic shots. But the characters make the best of it. They all move so fluidly, which is great for the songs and action sequences. Not much else to say, the movie just looks great. Music. Music has always been a prevalent part of the show. Many people aren't a fan of having one song per episode, but plenty of the songs have been really great. The movie is no exception. The first song, Sunny Side Up Summer, is all about all the different Belchers getting ready for their summer. Bob and Linda are hoping the bank will give them the extension, Gene is preparing for a concert, Tina is trying to get Jimmy Jr. as her summer boyfriend. But I particularly enjoy Louise's part of the song, as her side plot is one of the best in the film. It's about her insecurities revolving around her bunny ears and proving herself. I'll also get more into this later. The second song, Lucky Ducks, is about the Carnies singing about who could have killed Cotton Candy Dan in the opening. It's good, albeit I do like the first song more. Gene also has a song at the end reviving his band, the Itty Bitty Ditty Committee, from a Season 5 episode. It's also good, but I was quite fond of the villain's monologue song. I'd skip over this part for spoiler reasons. Here it is. Grover Fishoda, the film's true villain, was the true killer of Cotton Candy Dan. He thinks about his plan to explode the secret clubhouse under the pier and drown the Fishoders, and create an alibi. It stopped becoming a song at a few points, and I do wish the movie had more songs to become a full-on musical, but what we got was really memorable, and stuck with classic Bob's Burgers. The jokes. As always, the jokes are hilarious. Many great dialogue gags, such as Tina trying to roll under Felix's bed and failing, Linda in her burger bikini suit, which they advertised a lot, and all Gene's typical witty lines, such as him talking about the time he wore a bucket on his head when he was younger, and Bob said he was concerned about that. It's great stuff, and very in line with the show. The writing in general is just packed with jokes, and this movie guarantees you to laugh at least several times. It's very in line with the show. The characters. The movie's best aspect, however, was the characters. This part of the video has major spoilers, so I'd skip over if you haven't seen it. Anyways, Teddy was hilarious as always, but more than usual, sweet. He built a burger cart for the Belchers, and it was a really nice moment, and it really stood out to me. Sergeant Bosco also got a decent amount of screen time, which is strange considering he usually doesn't appear too much. He was hilarious, like during his stakeout with the one-eyed snake's hideout. Gene is true to character, and Tina's plot had a fresh twist, which make it stood out more. She didn't know if what she wanted from Jimmy Jr. was really what she expected it to be, which I think is pretty interesting and in a weird way relatable. In the end, she learns that life moves quickly, and she finally takes her shot. But Bob, Linda, and Louise had the best roles here. Bob is genuinely scared at some points in the movie. Scared of the restaurant going out of business, scared of the sinkhole, and scared that the family will suffocate. His speech with Linda here makes it hands down my favorite scene in the entire movie. When Linda finally gives up hope about trying to get out, he talks about how she's always the positive one, and he's the opposite. This makes him realize how really hard it is for Linda in their marriage, making their escape all the more heartwarming and meaningful. As for Louise, she doesn't want to be thought of as a baby, and tries to be brave the whole movie. But Bob tells her about how Louise's family bunny ears came to be, with her having them in preschool as a way to carry on the legacy of Bob's mom through her hat. The scene was just beautiful, and really shows how close to the family the Belchers are, and it's nice to finally get a reveal for not only Bob's mom, but Louise's ears in the sweetest way possible. The pacing. One problem I did kind of see the movie facing, however, was the pacing. For the most part, it was good, but there were scenes that particularly went on for a little too long. It was mainly the clubhouse scene. It was pretty interesting, and a lot of the movie did take place in this, and I especially love the chase sequence, but some parts of this scene did kind of drag on. Like I said, I did enjoy the song, but it just felt like exposition dumping, if I have to be honest. Another issue was a lack of classic characters, like Mr. Fun, Gretchen, and Aunt Gail. I do think they could have had more appearances, since, they are a huge part of the show. Of course, though, they couldn't fit every character, but you still miss them, and at least they appeared in the ending, though. There are a few Easter eggs here and there that also make the movie great for old fans. The appearances of Little King Trashmouth, Linda's favorite raccoon, Felix's ex Fanny, who hasn't been in a show for 8 seasons, since season 4's finale, a two-parter, and the melted Coochie Copy doll from season 7's premiere. All the stuff isn't hard to miss, but it does serve as a great way to prove a fan's knowledge. At the beginning of the movie, they definitely did explain all the characters a lot and who they were, so it makes you wonder if this movie was also meant to introduce somebody to the show, and if so, I do think it did a good job, even if the stuff was familiar. So, there we have it. The Bob's Burgers movie was thoroughly fantastic, filled with memorable tunes, hilarious jokes, plenty of action, and really sweet moments between the Belchers, capturing some of the best moments of the show. The whole thing just felt like a normal episode of the show. That's something I've heard a lot of reviewers say, and honestly, I agree. But it is one of those things that make you wonder, is that a good or a bad thing? Well, I think that's a good thing. It may be a movie, but the reason you're coming into theaters is to see the Belchers. So, and I think they did a really good job at just giving them this broader story. It does feel like a normal episode of the show, just 5 times as long with higher stakes. But I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I honestly am not too sure about a rating. I guess like a 9 out of 10. But if you're a fan of Bob's Burgers at all, just go see the movie. It's really good, and you'll love it. Thanks for watching.